Okay, so now I want to start talking about acid nomenclature, how to name and write the formulas for acids. Right, so acids start with a hydrogen. These are covalently bonded compounds, and they have a hydrogen which shares its electrons like all nonmetals do. You will know it's an acid because the first element in the formula is a hydrogen. But the question is, how many hydrogens? So the number of hydrogen matches the charge of the anion. Well, what do you mean by that? Okay, so let's look at some examples to figure it out. So here's the anion chloride. It has a -1 charge. The compound has to have 0, so how many protons do I need to add? Well, I need to add 1 to get to 0. So 1 proton, and you get HCl. Here's the next anion, sulfate, SO4 2-. How many protons do I need to add to get the 2- to 0? Well, 2 protons. So what am I going to get? H2SO4. Here's another example. The phosphite ion, 3 negative charge. How many protons do I need to add to that to get to 0? 3 protons. And so that will get the charge to 0. It'll look like H3PO3. Alright, so you're going to write the anion symbol, the charge, the acid, and the formula for chlorate, borate, iodide, phosphite, sulfite, and cyanide. Right, so pause it here, write it down, write the name of the ion, the anion symbol and charge, and the acid formula. Okay. So you're back. Let's continue by looking at the answers. Check your answers. You can pause here. If you have any questions, be sure you highlight it, and then we'll talk about it when we get back to class. All right, now let's talk about naming acids. To name an acid, you're going to use these 3 rules, and they're on the back of the worksheet if you're on the back of the worksheet for the lecture notes that we gave you. So if the anion ends in ATE, you're going to change the ATE to IC, ate to ick. If the anion ends in ITE, you're going to change the ITE to OUS, ite to us. If the anion ends in IDE, we're going to use the rule hydro, root. Okay, so there are 2 that you have to know change their root. Sulf, like sulfide, sulfate, sulfite changes to sulfur, so it's sulfuric acid, sulfurous acid, and hydrosulfuric acid. And phos, as in phosphate, phosphite, and phosphate, phosphide changes to phosphor. So phosphoric acid, phosphorus acid, and hydrophosphoric acid. So one way to remember it is I ate it, so I got sick. So ate to ick with the dreaded syndrome, adic-itis. Ate to ick, ite to us. Just a little way to help you remember, might help. So here's some examples. If the anion is chloride, IDE, we're going to use hydro root ick. Right? So HCl is hydrochloric acid. If the anion is sulfate, we're going to change the ate to ick. We got to have 2 hydrogen because of that 2- charge, and you get sulfuric acid. If the anion is phosphite, we still 3 hydrogen for that 3 negative charge. Ite turns to us, and you get phosphorus acid. Okay, so spelling counts. Phosphorus with just US, that's the element. phosphorus with O-U-S, that's the acids. One letter makes all the difference. So you got to learn how to spell those words. So on your sheet, here are some for you to try. I want you on your own paper, get these out and tell me the names of these acids. Pause here and do that, and then we'll come back and check your answers. Okay, are those the answers you got? If so, you're good to go. If not, you need some help and maybe some more practice. So talk to me about that. So the acid nomenclature worksheet is due tomorrow, and we'll do some whiteboard practice, and then we'll have a quiz. See you at school.